Lewis Hamilton's comeback at the Belgian Grand Prix wasn't loud or lucky. It was pure execution. After one of his worst Saturdays in a Ferrari, eliminated in Q1 and forced to start from the pit lane, everything pointed to another weekend to forget. The SF25 had been unpredictable, broken by a new component that ruined the car's balance, and Hamilton was furious. But overnight, something changed. Ferrari removed the issue, rebuilt the setup, and finally gave him a car he could trust. Not perfect, but stable enough to fight. And Hamilton did more than just fight. From the very first lap, he attacked overtake after overtake. Lap after lap, he picked his way through the field with total control. No drama, no mistakes, just Hamilton at his absolute best. Calm, focused, and unstoppable. By the end of the race, he had climbed to 7th from the pit lane, voted driver of the day, and left even Ferrari speechless. A masterclass in damage limitation and a clear message that he's far from done. If you enjoy this kind of Ferrari-focused F1 content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around until the end because we're breaking down every moment of this incredible comeback. The opening laps of the Belgian Grand Prix felt like the start of something familiar. Another weekend in damage limitation mode for Lewis Hamilton. He rolled out of the pit lane with zero expectations on his shoulders and nothing to lose. After all, starting from the back in a car that had been fundamentally broken the day before doesn't exactly inspire confidence. But then something began to shift. A handful of laps in, the onboards began to tell a different story. Hamilton's hands were calm on the wheel. The car wasn't fighting him anymore. There was grip on entry, predictability on throttle. No more mid-corner snaps. No more second-guessing under braking. And in that moment, the comeback began. Not as a lucky break, not as a product of chaos ahead, but as a systematic assault on the midfield. Car after car fell victim to Hamilton's precision. He wasn't aggressive in the reckless sense. He was calculated, as if each move had been rehearsed in his head the night before. Through late comms at the end of the Camel Straight, he found the inside line time and again. Through Blanchiment, he carried speed where others hesitated. And coming out of the bus stop chicane, his exits were clean, tidy, and controlled. What made this drive even more impressive was not just that he was overtaking. It was that he was doing it cleanly, consistently, and without taking unnecessary risks. Every position gained felt earned. The car was finally working with him, not against him. That wasn't a coincidence. Ferrari's overnight changes were extensive. The untested component that had ruined Saturday, believed to be part of a revised suspension floor interaction system,
so guys,
was finally
another
scrapped.
helmet reveal.
Ride height was readjusted. Rear damping was softened. The aero map was altered to improve stability on corner entry, and the result was exactly what Hamilton had been asking for all along. A car he could trust. Still wasn't perfect, not by any means, but it was no longer fighting limits. And for a driver like Lewis Hamilton, that's all he needs to create magic. While the broadcast focused on the battle at the front between Verstappen and the McLarens, those watching closely knew something special was happening in the midfield. Hamilton was climbing quietly, relentlessly. Tsunoda, Magnussen, Albon all passed without contact. His rhythm was steady, his lap times consistent, and with no safety cars or virtual interruptions
a license that would allow him to compete in the biggest Nordschleife for events.
Pure pace, pure racecraft. In contrast, others around him were falling apart. Carlos Sainz was penalised 5 seconds for weaving under braking. Lance Stroll sent Oscar Piastri wide in a messy defensive move. Yuki Tsunoda clashed wheels with Magnussen and later picked up a penalty himself. The midfield was unravelling. Hamilton, he was putting on a masterclass. The difference in composure was impossible to ignore. By lap 20, he was already in the fight for points. But Ferrari's radio remained unusually quiet. No tactical overreach, no aggressive calls. It was as if the team didn't quite know how to respond, because while they had made the changes that unlocked the car's potential, it was Hamilton who was delivering far beyond expectations. And they knew it. After everything that had gone wrong on Friday and Saturday, this wasn't a driver salvaging a weekend. This was a driver rewriting the narrative completely. When he eventually climbed into 7th place, the tone changed slightly. Ferrari engineers began offering split times, updates on cars ahead, a hint of optimism, but not much more. There were no celebrations, no congratulatory messages over the radio.
His proper racing passion has always been.
They weren't leading him; they were watching him. The fans, on the other hand, saw exactly
lessons,
what
drive
was
behind a
happening.
specialised instructor,
Social media
and
lit
racing a
up
Porsche
as his progress became impossible to ignore. By the final stint, Hamilton had not only climbed into the
points,
points,
we did that
he had
and crossed the line with a second place in class, which is great towards
than any other driver. And when the checkered flag dropped, the official confirmation came.
Formula 1 world champion
Lewis
Max
Hamilton
Verstappen spent his weekend off having to prove he
by fans around the world. A perfect recognition of a performance built on patience, resilience, and raw ability. After the race, Hamilton's interviews were calm, respectful, but not without subtext. He thanked the team for making the necessary changes, acknowledged that the car felt far, and even hinted that he had enjoyed himself, a word he hadn't used all weekend. But beneath that calm surface, you could feel the underlying message. This race wasn't about joy. It was about showing Ferrari and everyone else what could have been possible if his concerns had been addressed earlier. The frustration hadn't vanished.
I can't wait to get racing on such a venue like this. I'm sure it'll be very exciting.
Saturday had been a disaster of miscommunication and poor judgment. The team had fitted a component that hadn't been properly validated, ignored the driver's feedback in free practice, and paid the price in qualifying. Only after a humiliating Q1 exit and a forced pit lane start did they finally listen. And when they did,
lost a couple
Hamilton
positions,
did the rest.
but luckily we managed to keep the car
has reignited
relatively.
Deeper questions within Ferrari's technical department. Why did it take a qualifying crisis to trust Hamilton's judgment? Why were decisions being made without full correlation between data and driver feel? And most importantly, how many more weekends will it take for Ferrari to give Hamilton a car that truly is? Because on Sunday, we got a glimpse of what that might look like. A car that doesn't fight him, a strategy that doesn't hold him back, a race where the limits come from the competition, not the machine underneath him. And when that happens, even just partially, Lewis Hamilton is still absolutely alive. This comeback didn't win the race. It didn't put him on the podium, but it did something arguably more important. It reminded everyone in the paddock that Lewis Hamilton is not here to fade quietly into retirement. He's here to build and to win. He's not waiting around for anyone to get their act on. So when the team
racing exploits are well documented. He'll often race GT cars virtually outside of and during real-world Formula 1 events, including races on the Nordic.
One of the most broken weekends of the season and turned it into a declaration.
The next race will be the Spa 24 Hour. I think the one we are all looking most forward to. I think always dreamed of doing, and I'm super excited to do it with you.
Breakdown and want don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and stick around, because if this comeback is anything to go on, the best from Hamilton this season might still be yet to come.